Our top focus on the show tonight. Ukraine has launched one of its largest drone offensives this week, striking deep into Russian territory, in what appears to be an act of defiance by Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky. Because just days after, US President Donald Trump warned Kiev not to target Moscow. Russia's defense ministry says it shot down at least 126 Ukrainian drones overnight, including 3 that approached the capital, Moscow. At least 12 Russian regions came under attack, prompting flight restrictions at major airports in Moscow, Kaluga and St. Petersburg. In fact, electronic warfare systems reportedly intercepted several drones launched by Ukraine east of St. Petersburg. Moscow's mayor posted on Telegram that 3 drones were neutralized on the city's outskirts. The strikes came only 2 days after Trump publicly told Zelensky not to launch attacks on the Russian capital, Moscow.
Should Zelensky target Moscow or deeper into Russia?
No, he shouldn't target Moscow.
Russian officials reported casualties and injuries in several regions. In the southwestern Russian region of Voronezh, a drone crashed into a residential building, wounding at least 3 residents. Meanwhile, in Belgorod, drone strikes killed 3 people and injured at least 17 more. In the Smolensk region, which lies to the west of Moscow and borders Belarus, at least 1 person was injured in drone strikes. A drone also hit a 2-story house in Kaluga region located to Moscow's southwest, injuring a 14-year-old girl. Now, Ukraine, on the other hand, endured another wave of Russian drone attacks. According to Ukraine's Air Force, Russia launched 64 drones into Ukrainian airspace overnight, of which 41 were intercepted. The remaining drones struck at least 5 different locations, inflicting damage and injuries in Ukraine. One of the deadliest incidents occurred in the eastern city of Dobropilya, located near the front line of the ongoing war. And according to Ukrainian officials, a Russian bomb strike on a shopping center and marketplace there killed at least 4 people and wounded at least 27 others. Videos online show flames engulfing the area with thick black smoke billowing skywards. According to regional authorities, Russia dropped a 500-kilogram bomb on Dobropilya, destroying 54 shops and 13 buildings around the crowded square. Now, Dobropilya lies just 30 kilometers northwest of Prokofsk, which is a major flashpoint of the ongoing war. Now, on the battlefield, Russian forces claim to have captured another settlement in Donetsk, adding that it destroyed Ukrainian military assets, including 6 armored vehicles, 12 artillery and field guns, and 11 electronic warfare stations. Meanwhile, Ukraine's army chief also released a battlefield update saying that the Ukrainian Air Force missile units and artillery launched attacks on concentrations of Russian personnel, with Ukrainian strikes destroying 3 Russian tanks, 2 armored vehicles, 49 artillery systems. And earlier this week, Trump laid out a 50-day deadline for Moscow to accept a ceasefire with Ukraine or face sanctions if it failed to do so. And just earlier today, the Kremlin said that it is still assessing Trump's proposal, especially potential secondary tariffs targeting buyers of Russian goods. So at this point of time, neither Russia nor Ukraine appears ready to de-escalate. And this month has reportedly witnessed a surge in drone warfare, with both the countries exchanging drone attacks at a record pace. Russia claims it has downed over 1,500, that's the number, of Ukrainian drones this month, averaging around 90 per day compared to around 80 per day in June. While Ukraine reports receiving more than 4,000 drones in the first half of July alone, averaging nearly 240 drones daily compared to around 180 drones per day in June. These numbers perhaps underscore a new trend that we are witnessing on the battlefield. Diplomacy is on hold and drone warfare is rapidly intensifying. The battlefield is no longer limited to the trenches. It stretches across borders, over the skies. All right, in a move aimed at nurturing family life and work-life balance, the Dubai government has launched a new initiative offering fully paid marriage leave of 10 working days to Emirati nationals employed across its various entities. This benefit applies only if the employee and their spouse are both Emirati citizens, that's number one, and the marriage contract must be certified in the UAE and dated before 31st December 2024. Apart from this, employees must have successfully completed their probationary period. A certified copy of the marriage certificate is also required for verification, and the individual should be working in Dubai government entity. Now, during the marriage leave period, an employee is entitled to their full gross salary, including allowances and financial benefits as well, which is stipulated under the applicable human resources legislation. Apart from that, the decree further stipulates that a government entity may not call up an employee during marriage leave, with the exception of military personnel if work requires it. And in such a situation, if an employee is called up during marriage leave to perform national or reserve service, or if they are unable to use their marriage leave for the same reason, the marriage leave or any other remaining days thereof shall be transferred until after the employee completes their national or reserve service. Well, this initiative not only promotes social well-being but also sets a progressive benchmark for employee welfare across the region. Is the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu trying to divide Syria? And that's following a ceasefire deal. Syrian forces have reportedly completely withdrawn from the Druze-dominated city of Suwaida, but questions now swirl. Number one, around Israel's motives, and number two, the leadership of Syrian President Ahmad al-Shara. Syria perhaps remains a fractured country. At the start of this year, this is what the map of Syria looked like. And a lot has changed since. Though a lot remains the same, as you can see on your screens right now, the Kurdish-controlled regions as well as the Turkish-backed groups in the north have operated autonomously for years. Pockets of ISIS still hold territory, and now Israeli air raids across southern Syria, particularly in Suwaida, have left more than 500 people dead, and that's according to the war monitors. Al-Shara, remember, was an influential figure even under former Syrian President Bashar al-Assad's regime, especially in the Idlib governorate in northwestern Syria. Al-Shara said he will not allow Syria to be divided by Israel and has vowed to protect the Druze community, saying that they are an integral part of the country.
The Israeli entity, which has consistently targeted our stability and sown discord since the fall of the former regime, now seeks once again to turn our sacred land into a theatre of endless chaos, aiming to fragment our unity and weaken our ability to rebuild and rise. We, the sons of this land, are best equipped to overcome every attempt by Israel to tear it apart.
In a statement, Bibi said that the ceasefire in Syria was, in his words, obtained by force. That's after Israel struck military targets in Damascus in response to Syrian government troops attacking the Druze. And according to reports, skepticism remains, especially among minority communities in Syria like the Druze and Alawites, who question whether al-Shara's background and government can truly deliver national cohesion. And Israel's military actions reportedly not only fosters these doubts about al-Shara and his government, but they're also indicative of a larger intent. Because since the collapse of the Assad government in late 2024, Israel has reportedly launched more than 350 airstrikes inside Syria. And targets include missile storage sites, air defense systems, and naval infrastructure. Experts say the majority of Syria's military capabilities have now been destroyed by Israel. adding that this is not just about deterring threats, it is about permanently weakening Syria's capacity to reassert itself as a major regional power in West Asia. Experts warn that this strategy by Israel may be a deliberate attempt to fragment Syria into ethnically and sectarian-based provinces, benefiting Israeli interests by ensuring no unified Syrian state can challenge regional power balance. According to reports, the latest Druze campaign in the south, along with ongoing unrest among Kurds, Turkmen and Alawites, it benefits Israel's main goal of a weakened Syria. Furthermore, Israel's deepening footprint in Syria, like in Golan Heights, reportedly only fosters this long-term instability. Even allies like U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio offered only a muted response when Israel violated the agreed ceasefire yesterday, calling it, and I'm quoting him here, misunderstanding. Now, the Trump administration faces a dilemma of sorts. Number one, can Washington keep the latest ceasefire pause intact? And more importantly, will Israel play along? Because as of now, a convoy of Israeli military vehicles was seen driving into the Syrian side of the Israeli-Syria border near the Druze town of Majd al-Shams in the Golan Heights. So, as Syria's map slowly reshapes through war and diplomacy, the question remains, is Netanyahu redrawing the borders of a broken country? Or will al-Shara somehow manage to reunite a divided Syria?